Welcome everyone, my name is Jessica and this is Simple, Cheap, and Easy DIYs.
In this video, we're going to be putting together these 3 fall decor pieces that are super easy to make in under 5 minutes. I'll start off by taking 3 of these glass pumpkins and using my hot glue. I'm just going to glue one pumpkin on top of the other based on size, and these do work out great because the glass actually has a hole in the bottom of each pumpkin. Once you like the placement, you'll glue the final pumpkin on, and now I do suggest using an E6000 glue for a more permanent hold, but once you have these glued together, your pumpkin will be complete. For the second project, I'm going to take this farmer market calendar and I'm going to be using the pumpkin patch and taking a piece of foam board that is cut the size of the calendar sheet. I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue all the way around the sheet. Now you can also use glue stick, Mod Podge, or just regular school glue if you'd like. Once I have that glued down, I'm going to take these large bamboo skewers, which I got at Dollar Tree also, and I'm going to cut 4 pieces to make the frame of the pumpkin. Once those are cut out, I'm going to take my brown oxide paint and I'm going to apply one thin coat to the sticks to make more of a stain. Once they're dry, I'm going to apply some hot glue and place one of the sticks around the top and sides to complete the frame. Once you have the frame complete, you'll have this quick and easy pumpkin patch sign to go with your decor. For the third project, it's not so much a DIY, but it just goes great with the decor. I'm going to take 2 bunches of these orange hydrangeas and I'm going to place those inside the vase, and this is something cute to add to your decor just to kind of give it a little bit of a fall look, and you can always change the flowers out. Also, you can always add jute twine or ribbon to the vase if you'd like to do so as well. And here's your completed third quick and easy project. And here's all 3 projects completed. These are super quick and easy to make, but they do give just a nice touch of fall that you can add in with your decor. I'm going to be making this fall decor. I'm going to start off by taking 4 of these Rubik's Cubes. Now you can also use the foam dice, or some Dollar Trees do have the wood blocks. Next, I'm going to take this lightweight spackle and I'm going to cover all of the cubes. Now this actually helps hold the cubes where they don't rotate and makes them solid. Also, once this dries, it's actually going to give the blocks more of a textured feel. That's why I'm applying it with my finger. It'll actually leave some lines in the spackle. And what that'll do is once it dries, it'll give the appearance of cement or a wood-like texture. And you'll see once it's dry what I'm talking about. And here's what it will look like once the spackle is fully dry. Once that's dry, I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint in Agave and I'm going to paint all the blocks. And this is what it will look like once they're fully painted, and this is the texture that you'll have on it once it's dry to give it more dimension.
Next, I'm going to take this cardstock, which I got at Dollar Tree, and using my Cricut Joy, I'm going to cut out the word fall. And you can use stickers or draw them on, whichever you prefer if you don't have the Cricut. Next, using Mod Podge, I'm just going to put that all on the back of the letters and then place each of the letters on one of the blocks. Once all the letters are in place, I'm going to take the Mod Podge again and just coat each of the letters to seal them in place. Now taking this little plaque, which I do believe is a wreath tag, and this scrapbooking paper that I got at Hobby Lobby. I did get this paper while they were having their sale for 4 sheets for 25 cents. And what I'm going to do is just place this tag on the paper, and I'm going to trace around that. Once I have that traced, I'll go ahead and cut that out. Once I have my circle cut out, I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and on the back of the tag, I'm going to place that on there. I didn't bother removing the stickers off because it's going to be covered up anyway. Once I have the back fully coated, I'll take my scrapbooking paper and just place that in place and let that dry. Once your sign's fully dry, this is what it will look like. And I'm going to take some more of the cardstock, which I got at Dollar Tree, in this blue color. And again, using my Cricut Joy, I just cut out the word hello. And I'm going to apply Mod Podge in the center of the tag and then place each of the letters in place. Now, I actually wish that the letters would have been a little bit darker of a blue, but this was the only color that I had, so I went ahead and used it. But you can change any of the colors out. Again, this is just the color that I had. Once I had the word in place, I went ahead and used some Mod Podge and coated the top and just let that dry. Once that's fully dry, I'm going to apply hot glue to the bottom and place that in the center of the block with the letter F. I did place a generous amount of hot glue on the back of the sign and the block as well, just to make sure that that was secure and did hold in place. Next, I'm going to take these 2 little pumpkin clips, which I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue mine down, but I will go ahead and glue them to the last block with the letter L. You can just set them on top if you'd like, or you can glue them whichever you prefer. And here's the completed first project. You can separate the blocks, or you can push them all together. You can just display them however you'd like. Second project, I'm going to take these large craft sticks, which I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut the ends off of each of the sticks. I'm going to use a total of 8 sticks for this project. Next, taking one of the Dollar Tree calendars, I'm going to be using this white pumpkin picture from this calendar. Next, I'm going to take a piece of foam board and just place my calendar picture on top. And then I'm just going to be using hot glue to glue this down since it was faster. You can always use Mod Podge if you would like. You can also use a glue stick, but for me, I just found that hot gluing the edges down worked better and faster for me. Once I have the picture fully glued down, I'm going to take the craft sticks and I'm going to place 2 on each of the sides. And on 2 of them, it's actually going to be a little bit shorter. So as you can see here in a moment, I'm going to be cutting 2 of the sticks on the top and the bottom just to make sure that they fit in place. Now that all the sticks are cut to size, I'm going to take the guave chalk paint and I'm going to paint each of the sticks. And then once that's fully dry, I'm going to start gluing them around the picture to make the frame. As you can see, there is a little bit of the picture left over at the bottom, and I did that because I didn't want to have to cut multiple sticks. I just used 2 full-size sticks on both of the sides and just cut the top and bottom stick. So what I did was, once I had the frame fully built around the pumpkin, I'm just going to take my X-Acto knife and cut off the excess. That way it does fit smoother and the frame looks better. And here's the completed second project. Today's video, we're going to be making this cute buffalo check fall centerpiece. We're going to start off by taking this flower and garden tin, and I'm going to paint it in 1 coat of apple barrel paint in the color white. Once that is dry, I'm going to take this buffalo check scarf, which I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to apply 3 dabs of hot glue on the back of the tin. And I'm going to start off at the bottom by placing the scarf on the bottom and working my way up to the top. And I'm just going to apply the hot glue all the way around the bottom to make sure that the bottom of the scarf lines up with the bottom of the tin. And I'm going to continue to do so all the way around till I get to the back of the tin. Once you have your scarf glued all the way around the bottom of the tin, then it's time to glue the back on, and it won't be straight in the back, it'll be a little bit at an angle. So I'm just going to apply some hot glue and glue the scarf down. Now the buffalo check print may not be completely straight on the tin. If it's not, you may just need to work it around a little bit to get it as straight as possible. Once you have that done, you'll apply a little bit of hot glue on the back of the tin with the scarf to hold it in place, and just tuck the rest on the inside. Next, I'm going to take a dab of hot glue and apply to the front, top, center of the tin and apply some raffia. Then taking the raffia, I'm going to wrap that around the top of the tin and apply another dab of hot glue on the back to hold that in place. I'm just going to cut off the excess raffia and then repeat those same steps on the other side. Once I had the raffia in place, I really didn't like the way that the material was loose on the inside, so I went ahead and glued just a dab of hot glue around the inside of the container just to make sure that the scarf stayed in place and didn't move around too much. Now taking this little raffia bow that I made, I'm going to apply hot glue to the bow and glue that to the center of the planter. I did end up making the tail of this bow a little too long, so using my scissors, I'm just going to trim that up a bit. Next, I'm going to take this filler and fill the container. And taking some of these fall flowers, I'm going to place them along the back side of the tin. And I am sorry, I don't remember the name of these. I actually already had the tag removed off. But I'm going to place these along the back side of the tin. Now you can use any florals you'd like for this, but I thought these gave a really neutral look. Next, I'm going to take these little burlap pumpkins and I'm going to place them on one side of each of the tin. And once I have those arranged how I like them, I'm just going to work with it a little bit, and then taking one of the little scarecrows, I'm going to actually place that in the center between the two pumpkins. And here's the completed fall centerpiece. I really like how the neutral colors and the pop of color from the buffalo check kind of bring this all together. Be making this high-end modern fall decor. We're going to start off by taking 2 of these wooden pumpkins, and I already sanded the glitter off of the words, and I was going to remove the sticker, but I decided just to leave it on there since I'm going to be covering it in paper. And what I'm going to do is take off both of the little raffia bows, and I am going to save those because I'll probably be using those for a future DIY. Next, I'm going to take this buffalo check scrapbooking paper, which I got at Hobby Lobby, and taking one of the wooden pumpkins, I'm going to take my pencil and just trace out the entire pumpkin. Once I have it traced out, then I will go ahead and cut it out. Once I have the shape cut out, I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces, and I'm going to cut one side a little bit larger than the other, as you can see here. Next, I'm going to take this cardstock, which I got at Dollar Tree, and it's one side is shimmery and one side is more of a matte black, so I'm going to be using the matte black sign. So taking the 2 pieces that I cut out of the Hobby Lobby paper, I'm going to trace both pieces onto the black cardstock. Once I have those traced out, then I'm going to cut 2 pieces out of the black paper. Once you have all 4 pieces cut out, this is what it should look like. Now taking my Mod Podge, I'm going to coat the entire back of both of the pumpkins with a good amount of Mod Podge, since this is a little bit thicker paper. I'm going to start off by placing the buffalo check paper on and smoothing that out. Once I have that down, I'm going to take the black paper, and again I'm going to use the matte side and place that on, and I'm going to repeat those steps on both of the pumpkins. Once both pumpkins are dry, you can always coat them with the top layer of Mod Podge if you'd like. Now I'm going to be taking this 3/8 inch buffalo check ribbon, which I got at Hobby Lobby, and I'm going to make 2 small bows. I'm going to place 1 bow on the top of each of the pumpkin stems. I did leave my pumpkin stems brown, but now I'm thinking maybe I should have painted them black. Leave me a comment down below if you're going to be recreating this, and let me know if you're going to leave your pumpkin stems brown or be painting them black. And here's what your completed first project will look like. For the second project, I'm going to take 2 of these little black glass candle holders and this 5/8 inch ribbon, which I did get the ribbon at Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of ribbon that is long enough to reach around the top of the glass candle holder. Once I have those cut out, I'm just going to apply a dab of hot glue around the top and then glue the ribbon to the top of the candle holder. This is a very easy DIY to do, but it does give you a high-end decor look once you have them completed. You have the ribbon on both of the candle holders. I'm just going to place tea lights in mine, but you can also use real candles. And here's the completed second project. For the third project, I'm going to be using 2 of these mini wall shelves and taking the rest of that buffalo check scrapbook paper, I'm just going to place it on one of the shelves, and I found it was easier if I just bent the paper and made a crease. Once I have that crease made, I'm going to take a ruler and just make a square in the paper, as you can see me doing here. Next, I'm just going to cut out the square in the paper. This is a little bit larger than the size I'll be needing, but what I'm going to do next is take the second shelf and put it next to the first one. That way I can get an idea of the size of paper I need. And I'm going to repeat the same step. I'm going to place the paper on the inside and make a crease. Once I have that crease made, I'm going to cut it out. That way the paper will fit right on top of both the shelves. Once I have my paper cut, I'm going to take my hot glue and I'm going to use a generous amount, and I'm going to place both of the shelves together with the hot glue. Now, in order for me to get this to lay flat against each other, I'm going to overlap the bottom part, as you can see here, and it fits almost perfect together, but just to make sure it stays in place, I'm going to add a little more hot glue around the bottom. Now for this next part, I did lose some of the footage, but all I did was apply Mod Podge to the top of the shelf and then apply the paper and a coat of Mod Podge over the top. Now taking 4 of these little wooden blocks that I painted black, I'm going to apply 1 block in each of the corners using my hot glue. And here's the completed third project. For this last project, I'm going to take this wood gather sign and I'm going to start off by removing the jute twine hanger that's on the back. Once I have that removed, which I did have to cut mine off, but once I have that removed, I'm going to paint the sign in my apple barrel paint in the color jet black. And once the paint is fully dry, I'm going to make a new hanger for it using this buffalo check ribbon, and I'm going to apply a little bit of hot glue in the same spots that the jute twine was glued down to. Now to get the ribbon to lay a little bit flatter when I hang it, I'm going to apply just a little bit of hot glue in the center and fold the ribbon over itself, as you can see me doing here, and that'll just help the ribbon to lie flat against the wall. And here's your completed 4th project. We're going to be making this black and white fall decor. I'm going to start off by taking these mini wooden crates, which I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be using 2 of these crates for today's project. Now taking this wider washi type tape, I'm going to place that on each of the crate dividers, as you can see me doing here, and I'm just going to tear off the sides. You can cut them as well, and I will just wrap the top above it. Once I have the first line done, I'll take a second piece and apply that to the next slat in the crate. And now on this one, I'm not going to line the lines up. Where the white sat, I'm going to line the black up, and where the black sat, I'm going to line the white up. And I'm going to repeat that on both sides of both crates. This is what it will look like once you have both crates completed. Next, I'm going to take 4 of these little wooden blocks, which I also got at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to paint them as well as the sides of the crate in this jet black paint from Apple Barrel. Once the paint's fully dry, I will take my hot glue and glue one of the little wooden squares to each of the corners of the bottom on one of the crates. That way it'll give one of the crates a little bit of height. Once both crates are completed, I'm going to take this Spanish moss and I'm going to place some of that Spanish moss in each of the crates. Next, using some of these pumpkin fillers, I'm going to take off the pumpkins and some of the leaves, and on the pumpkins I'm going to take off the little stem that's holding it onto the picks as well. That way it leaves a little bit of the pumpkin stem, and I'll just go ahead and place those in each of the crates as well as some of the leaves. Finish these little crates off, I'm going to take some of these mini mums, and I'm going to be using the off-white ones and the orange ones, and I'm just going to place a couple of stems of flowers in each of the crates. For the second project, I'm going to use this mini dry erase easel board and these black and white stickers, which both came from Dollar Tree. And on the sign, I'm going to spell Fresh Pumpkins $1. Now you can always use different colored stickers, or you can handwrite it, whichever that you prefer. Taking that same black and white washi tape, I'm going to place a strip on the bottom and a strip on the top of the sign. And this is the completed second project. You can always paint the legs black if you'd like, but I did keep them in the wood look in case I want to reuse the sign. This third project is super easy. I'm going to take 2 of the mini terracotta pots and paint the top part of the pot in the apple barrel paint jet black. The black paint is dry. I'm going to take the apple barrel paint in the color white and paint the bottom of both of the pots in that color. Next, I'm going to take more of that Spanish moss and I'm going to place some of the moss in each of the 2 pots. Now taking some of the mini mums we used previously, I'm going to place some of the orange and some of the white in each of the pots. And here's the completed pots. Now you can leave them as is, but I actually decided to take 2 of these wood cuts and glue them to the bottom of the pots just to kind of give it more of a wood look. But this is optional, so you can leave them off if you'd like. Today's video, we're going to be making the sunflower decor, which is a great transition from summer into fall. This first project, I'm going to start off by taking 4 of these glass bottles, which I really am liking these bottles since it has the texture to them. And I'm going to take a pack of these sunflower napkins, which I got at Dollar Tree. And taking one of the napkins, I'm just going to unfold that. I wish that these had sunflowers all over all of the napkin, but unfortunately it's only in the middle. So I'll just cut off the white section of the napkin and then cut the napkin in half. You will want to repeat these steps on 4 napkins since we're going to be making 4 bottles. Once Once your napkin's cut in half, you're going to separate the 2-ply napkin into 1-ply just by removing the backing to where you're left with just the sunflower design. You do want to separate these gently as it can cause the napkin to rip. Once you have the napkin separated, I'm going to be taking some Mod Podge and I'm going to coat half of the bottle in Mod Podge. Since I did have to cut the napkin in half, I'm going to do half at a time. And with the Mod Podge, you won't want to put it too thick, but you'll want to put enough that way it does hold the napkin securely in place. Once you have half the bottle coated in the Mod Podge, then I'm going to take the napkin and center that on the bottle. And the napkin actually fits perfect for this size bottle. And you'll just smooth the napkin out. Once you have the middle section done, you'll wrap it around the bottom and you'll also wrap it around the neck of the bottle. Once you have the first part of the napkin on, I'm going to take the Mod Podge and coat the second half of the bottle. And then once that's done, I will go ahead and place the second napkin half onto the bottle as well. Now that I have both napkins applied to the bottle, I'm going to take the Mod Podge and coat the entire outside of the bottle. I am using the glossy Mod Podge because it actually helps give it a stained glass effect and that nice shiny gloss. Now I did make 4 bottles for my set, but you can make more or less just depending on your preference. But this is what they will look like once they're fully dry, and I just love how it looks like stained glass, not like a napkin. Now to complete the bottles, I'm going to take this yellow ribbon, which I got at Walmart. I believe it was 47 cents. And using my hot glue, I'm just going to glue the ribbon to the neck of the bottle. And I'm going to wrap that around the top a couple of times. And I'm going to repeat that on all 4 of my bottles. This is what the bottle will look like once you have the ribbon in place, and I just love how this bright yellow ribbon offsets the lighter color of yellows in the sunflower. Now this step is optional. You can add a yellow bow to complete the bottle. I was going to use it and then I decided I didn't very much like the way I made the bow, so I went ahead and removed those off. But if you are good at making bows, you can always add a bow and I think it would look great as well. To finish my bottles, I'm just going to place some greenery in each of the bottles. Now I also think that if you use some fairy lights and place some fairy lights in each of the bottles, it would really set off the stained glass effect. I think that would look great as well. And if you're not into the greenery, you can always put any type of flowers in the bottle, and I think it would look great also. And here's the completed first project. I think these would look great in a kitchen window or even a dining room table to transition from a summer look into a fall look. For the second project, I'm going to be taking one of these Love Valentine signs that I had left over, and I'm going to paint the back in this antique parchment color, which I really love this color because it's a nice creamy white and it'll go great with the sunflowers. And for this, once the paint's fully dry, I'm going to take another one of those napkins and cut it the same way. I'm going to cut the white section off, and then I'm going to cut the napkin in half. Once I have the napkin cut in half, I'll go ahead and remove the backing from the top of the napkin. have the napkins cut and separated, I'm going to take my Mod Podge and apply that to one end of the sign. Once I have the Mod Podge all over one end of the sign, what I'll do next is I'll take the napkin and place that onto the sign, and I'm going to leave a little bit of extra on each of the sides and smooth that out. Once I have that napkin smoothed out, I'm going to take the Mod Podge and cover that in one coat on the top. I'm going to let that fully dry, and then I'm going to repeat the same steps on the other side. Once the Mod Podge is fully dry on both sides, I'm just going to cut the extra napkin off. Once I have the extra cut, I'm going to apply the Mod Podge around the edges. That way it kind of wraps the napkin around and gives it a more finished look. Next, I'm going to take this Love Grows Here wall sticker, and I'm going to cut out the Love Grows Here and just be using the wording of this wall sticker. Once I have that cut out, I'll just remove it from the backing and center it in the center of the two sunflower sides. You could always just leave the sign as is, but I'm going to be using the yellow ribbon to tie it in with the bottles. And what I'll be doing is just taking the yellow ribbon and outlining the inner square to frame the words. And what I'll do is go ahead and cut the four sides, and then using my hot glue, I'll just glue the ribbon down. And again, this step is optional. I think it helps finish it off and ties it into the ribbon that I used on the bottles. And here's what it will look like once you have all the ribbon in place. Now you can always use command hooks to hold this sign up, or you could also use some ribbon to make a hanger as well. And here's the completed second project. This project is probably my favorite one from this video, but leave me a comment down below and let me know which one is your favorite. This last project, I'm going to take two of these cylinder vases and that same yellow ribbon. Taking the ribbon, I'm going to hot glue it to the bottom of both of the vases. Next, taking these sunflowers, which I got at Dollar Tree, I'm just going to take the flowers and the leaves off of the stems, since that's the only piece that we'll be using for this DIY. Once you have all the sunflowers and leaves removed, you can start placing them in your vase, and you can arrange them however you like, but I'm just going to stack them on top of each other, and I'm going to place 3 sunflowers and some leaves in each of the vases. Next, I'm going to take these little glass mixing bowls and place the ribbon around the top of the bowls, and I'm going to repeat that on both of them. And these bowls actually fit perfectly into the vase, and we're going to be using these as the actual candle holders. Next, you're just going to place the glass bowl into the vase, and you can either use the LED tea lights or you can actually use real tea lights for this project. Since it is glass, it will be safe to use, and this is what it will look like once it's completed. Now, these are super easy to make, but I think they give a high impact and they do look like high-end decor, and you can always change out the flowers as well to go for different seasons. And here's all 3 completed projects. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. As always, you can leave me a comment down below. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Till next time, hope everyone has a great day.